Everybody wants to know, what is it? What is the antidote for sugar? Well, I'm here to shock some of you and confirm others of your intuition on this one. Let me tell you, it is something amazing. It is fiber. So we are going to break down the what, where, when, why, how of this magical carbohydrate. Yes, I did say carbohydrate, which is a testament to how genius nature really is. She gives us the poison, but we love it. And so we eat the food. But then along with that, there is the antidote. And then, of course, all the vitamins and the minerals and the wonderful things. So, dietary fiber is a plant-based nutrient that is sometimes called like roughage or bulk. It's a type of carbohydrate, but unlike other carbs, it cannot be broken down into the digestible sugar molecules. Therefore, fiber passes through the intestinal tract relatively intact. However, on its journey, fiber does a lot of work for you and for your body. Don't be fooled by the fact that it stays intact. The term dietary fiber refers to the indigestible parts of a plant-based foods. Fiber is important to digestion and regularity, weight management, blood sugar regulation, cholesterol management, decrease of risk cancer, and a whole bunch more. So there are actually two different types of fiber. There's the soluble and the insoluble. Now, both are important for health, for digestion, for preventing diseases. Soluble fiber attracts water and turns into a gel during digestion. Now, this slows your digestion. Soluble fiber is found in oats and barley and nuts and seeds and beans and lentils and peas and some fruits and veggies. It is also found in psyllium and some supplements. Now, some types of soluble fiber may help lower the risk of heart disease. Now, this is not typically something that we think of when we're considering our heart is the fiber that we're eating, but we should be thinking in these terms. Now, insoluble fiber is found in foods such as wheat bran, some vegetables, whole grains. It adds bulk to the stool and appears to help pass food more quickly through the stomach and intestines. So we have both going on. We have it flowing and moving nicely. And then actually what insoluble fiber does, because foods that we eat that have that also tend to have a mineral called magnesium, which helps peristalsis. Now, peristalsis is the wave-like movements of your digestive tract. It's what allows food to go from swallowing down into your stomach, moves the stomach juices and acids around so your food can break down properly, and then move the food through the 25 feet of your digestive tract. So fiber is perhaps the single most important nutrient for health because it single-handedly protects the liver and feeds the gut in 6 different ways. Number one, the two fibers together, both the insoluble and the soluble, form a gel inside of the duodenum, which is just as the food is leaving your stomach, that's the duodenum there, to reduce the rate of absorption of mono and disaccharides, those are the simple sugars, and slow the breakdown of starches. Now, reduced absorption means reduced transport to the liver, thus preventing the liver from turning excess energy into fat, thus preventing liver insulin resistance, thus keeping you healthy. Number two, the reduction rate in the rate of absorption also reduces glycemic exertion in the blood, keeping the insulin response down, which is what we want, and reducing energy disposition into fat tissue. Because remember, we can have feelings and emotions about fat, but really it's just stored energy. And then, of course, toxins and other things as well. Number three, there are 2 flavors of bacteria that live in your gut. It is the white hat, or good bacteria, and the black hat, or the quote, bad bacteria. And it's a daily struggle to see which will prevail. Now, the white hat bacteria need more energy to survive and grow in order to battle the black hat bacteria. Otherwise, they will chew the mucilin layer right off your intestinal surface, causing leaky gut. And they will also release inflammatory cytokines, which get into your bloodstream and drive disease. Thankfully, the good bacteria can proliferate, can survive and dominate, and maintain a balance in the intestinal wall, but they need a greater and more robust supply chain to ward off the bad guys. And what is that supply chain made out of? What do they actually eat? You guessed it, fiber, both of them. They need both. Number 4, the fiber transits the food through the intestine faster. So it generates the satiety signal. Now, in your gut, there's a hormone called peptide YY3-36, which goes to the brain sooner than later when we have a lot of fiber, thus reducing second portions. It literally signals to the brain, thank you, I've had enough. But we all know that it takes time to get there. Number 5, soluble fiber is metabolized by the gut bacteria into short chain fatty acids like butyrate. These feed the microbiome of the colon, your large intestines, and they are absorbed into the bloodstream where they are anti-inflammatory and also suppress insulin secretion from the pancreas. Again, keeping insulin down. That is what we want. We want our cells, our body, our muscles, our organs to be insulin sensitive, not insulin resistant. That's when we get into trouble. Number 6, the insoluble fiber acts as a mild abrasive, or like little scrubbies, like a sponge that scrubs away the funk in the lumen of the colon, which dislodges the sloughs of cancer cells, thus reducing the risk of colon cancer. As well, so this is something on top of that, one of the things that you need to know is that when we are backed up, so we're not having enough fiber and things aren't moving through as they should, or it's kind of dry, what our body does is it reabsorbs hormones that it was trying to get rid of, like estrogen. That's one of the main hormones that get reabsorbed into the body when it's trying to flush it out through the digestive tract when we are constipated or things are not flowing as they should. Okay, so where do we get fiber? Well, the great thing about fiber is that everything that grows has fiber, which is awesome. So it is the American Heart Association, and this is a lot of different organizations pretty much say the same thing, right? They suggest that you should eat a variety of fibrous foods. Total dietary fiber intake should be about 25 to 30 grams a day in your food, not supplements. Okay, so we agree on something here. Currently, it's said that the dietary fiber intake among adults in the United States averages 15 grams a day. That's half the recommended amount. Now, remember, when there are recommendations that are given, it is for the average healthy person to maintain health. If you are outside of that small bracket, if you are not the average healthy person trying to maintain health, if you have something else going on that stresses the system, then you often need more nutrients than what is recommended for like the daily allowance of pretty much all of them, whether it's A or vitamin C or fiber or water or whatever it is. Okay, so if this is probably you, you're probably a woman and you're probably somewhere in between here, between 19 and 100. So the recommendation is about 23 grams per day. Okay, so let's take a look at that real quick, what that looks like, because I'm not sure that I agree with 23. And that's just the recommendation, right? I would say that probably a little bit more. In fact, if you do a little bit of research, you'll find that our ancestors ate about 100 grams of fiber per day. So our digestive system is primed for a lot of fiber. Our body knows exactly what to do with it. It uses it in every way, shape, and form. And then it gets rid of what it doesn't need, right? Which is so absolutely wonderful about fiber, is that it gives, gives, gives. It takes away all the stuff that we don't want. And then that's the end of the story, which is so beautiful. So the more fiber, the better we're going to feel. So I give you a little snippet of what my typical, and this is, now the last couple of years since I've been able to drop the weight, feel great, have energy, not on any medications. I don't have any of the health issues or problems that any of my aunts or my mom or my grandma or any of them had at my age, right? So it's not just genetic. Environment has a lot to do with it. When you change what you're doing and you're eating how your body actually wants you to be eating and responds really well, you don't have to fight your physiology. Your physiology is working for you. So this is a typical what I would eat, and then the grams of fiber that go along with it. Okay, so like, what does that mean? What does that add up to? Holy cow, 81.1 is a typical day for me. So I'm going way more towards what, my ancestors, and it's no wonder I feel great. I have energy. I don't no longer have weight to lose, which I struggled with my entire life. I'm not hungry anymore. I'm not hangry. Like, there's all of these issues have disappeared for me, which is wonderful. But what does that actually look like? Because this is black and white. This is just a list. It doesn't really show you what I'm talking about. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. This is a typical um, day for me. This is my breakfast muffins. I love those. It's just oats, banana, nuts, and eggs. Mix it together, put a little cinnamon, throw it in the oven, super easy. This is a typical lunch for me. I typically have a lot of veggies. I have a little bit of potato, some healthy fat. This is avocado, a nice piece of salmon, and some fruit. And then this is a typical dinner. I got some roasted vegetables here, a little bit of hummus with some garbanzo beans. So this is fresh, alive, and vibrant. It tastes good. I feel good before, during, and after. I know that I'm getting everything that my body needs to function and survive and feel really good. Okay, so a lot of people go, okay, well, fiber, Rose, those are some nice pictures, but like, I just kind of want to keep doing what I'm doing and just like add some fiber to get the benefit. I'm sorry. The processed food industry will claim that the benefit of added fiber is the same and they'll add it to their products. But as Dr. Lustig says, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. I am so sorry. You add back some soluble fiber, which is nice, like in Fiber One bars or psyllium or whatever, but you can never get back the insoluble. So the benefits of fiber in real food cannot be duplicated. You cannot take out one nutrient and think that it is going to do what it needs to do. We forget that the way that Mother Nature has created it, it comes whole. The whole is always greater than the sum of its parts. There are interactions with the other aspects of the actual real food that you're eating that interplay with each other on a way that we don't totally understand yet. But what we do know is that when we eat food that is processed, when we eat food that has been, nutrients have been taken out, they've been manipulated, they've been put back in, it is not the same. Real food travels with not only fiber alone, with vitamins, with minerals, with nutrients, with enzymes, antioxidants, water, protein, fat, carbohydrates, the complexity of what your body needs and wants and desires and thrives with. Your body knows how to heal, whether it's to drop the weight or it's the cholesterol or the blood pressure or the diabetes or the aches and pains or the rosacea or the skin problems, the digestive problems, the irritable bowel, the arthritis. I mean, the list goes on. There are a million different ways in which our body is screaming, please Stop doing that. Please just give me what it is that I need and what I want. And I totally get it. It's way easier said than done. And that's exactly why I put together the programs that I have, so that we can simplify, so that we can get rid of all the chitter chatter out there and like this diet, that diet, what to do, and just start feeding our mind and our body what it actually needs and wants. Peace, right? Peace of mind, healthy body. So here are some symptoms that you are having too little of fiber. And I'll tell you, with my 80.1 grams of fiber a day, I don't have any of these issues. But if you're only having the average of 15 or even the 23, which is recommended, I'm going to guess that you probably have some of these issues. Constipation, hard and dry poops, pain when pooping, unbalanced insulin, hunger after meals, cravings, hunger throughout the day, fluctuating blood sugars, belly fat, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, IBS, Crohn's, colon cancer, high estrogen. Remember, we talked about that because it gets reabsorbed if we're not eliminating properly. Stubborn acne, rosacea, other skin problems, sleep issues, low energy, weight gain, inflammation, and feeling bloated. Now, I do want to say one thing about our bodies and what happens if we have a consistent habit of not getting enough fiber. Just dumping a more fiber in when our body has done the eating away of its own intestinal walls, and we've got leaky gut, we've got IBS, we've got Crohn's, we've got diverticulitis, whatever. There is a process to healing that needs to happen first before you just start dumping a bunch of vegetables and salad into your system thinking like, oh, the fiber will fix it all. That's not what happens. If you're way over on the other side of the pendulum, there's a healing that needs to happen in the gut first before the fiber can actually have any benefit whatsoever, right? Because there's holes in there, there's open wounds. And so we want to be very delicate and very gentle with that. Please see a professional. Please see a professional if that's what's going on. I happen to be one of those as well. I have a master's in health education, specializing in nutrition. There are lots of people that you can go and talk to and see to create some of that healing, because that's what your body wants to do. We end up getting in the way. We end up getting in the way. Okay, so that was my little disclaimer on that one there. All of these other issues begin to resolve themselves with what what we are putting in matches more of this than anything that you would find at a fast food place or in a package or a box or anything like that. Okay. So also, if your concern is, hey, you know what? Like that food's super expensive and it takes a long time to cook. Those are two BS things that I hear. And when I say BS, I mean belief system. We're going to do a 5-day reset during Thanksgiving week next month. And I'll give you some more information about that and how you can sign up. Where Chef Cindy, who has been eating this way and kept off 100 pounds now for 20 years, she's also a chef and she's also a teacher at a very low income Title I high school in the next town over. And so she has literally spent the last 10 years debunking that BS, debunking that belief system. Yes, you can cook. No, it does not take more time and it is not more expensive. Are there more expensive options? Sure. The salmon is probably more expensive. And there are ways that you can shop, though, that can be this fresh, alive, and vibrant, but not more expensive. And it doesn't have to take you more time and it feels and tastes wonderful. Okay, so stay tuned for that one. And just as an ending note, always remembering that we want to protect our liver and feed our gut. When we are able to do both of these things, which fiber does in 6 amazing ways that we just went over, we begin to realize that our body has everything that it needs to feel good and to look good. Just keep in mind when you're going grocery shopping that real food, right? Real food, the one that has all of the ingredients that you need, or the ingredients, right? Real food doesn't have ingredients. So just keep it simple. You can do this. You are so wonderful and amazing. Thank you for being here. As always, if you need some help and support with this of exactly what does it look like? How do I structure my evening, my days, my night? Like, how do I get my brain around it? How do I get my kids involved? There are so many questions along this journey of health and vitality, and we are here to support you. All right. I hope you're having a good one. Talk to you soon.